Welcome to Stories with Dice. This is the Sword Campaign, a Pendragon actual play podcast using the 6th edition starter set from Chaosium. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you'll never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated, share your thoughts, and join the conversation. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode. Last time on the Sword Campaign, Sir Ian met a noble end in the blood-soaked Battle of Ygraine. At his funeral, King Arthur vowed to do all he could to bring an end to the wars of the last 2 years. During the winter phase in Salisbury, Sir Caradoc celebrated the birth of twin sons. Sir Histolwyn defended his father-in-law against accusations of tax evasion, and we were introduced to Sir Nigel, a young knight who helped repel a Saxon raid. As the year 511 drew to a close, a raven appeared to our 3 knights, and a mysterious voice asked, "What do you seek?" Okay, we are back with Pendragon, Sword Campaign episode 13. For us, it's a Happy New Year. It's the first time we've been back since the holidays. And I am joined, as always, by my friends Ed, playing Sir Nigel.
Hello.
And Pete, playing Sir Histolwyn. And Tony, playing Sir Caradoc.
Hello. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Okay, so one question actually for you guys before we begin. So have you told anyone about the voice that asked you, what do you seek? Like, have you told Count Robert or anyone in the household?
I probably would have spoken to Sir Histolwyn and asked if this is something probably to do with the gods, as we share the same religion. That would make sense. I suppose I would look at any kind of signs that they were about at the same sort of time as that. I mean, obviously there was the raven, which is, I guess I other than that, I probably wouldn't tell anyone else. I've got no one else to really kind of speak to. And I know that while we have different religions, I appreciate that they don't necessarily like it as much as we do.
Pete?
Well, having noted that the raven was present in the previous vision, I'd probably keep it just between me and my fellow knights.
Yeah, I think I would take it as something very spiritual, because for me, I was lost in this mist or this place. So this is what is probably pushing me now to become a more spiritual person and got me closer to, Christianism in a way. So I would keep it between me and my God.
Okay, you got it. All right, so once again, the lights dim in our cinema of the imagination and a title card fades into view on the screen. 512 AD. The boy king struggles to unite the realm. After the Battle of Ygraine, a council of peace is set at St. Albans, the sacred site where Arthur drew the sword from the stone. Whispers from the court of Carleon tell of Queen Morgause, wife of King Lot, visiting Arthur's court last summer without her husband, a gesture that raised many eyebrows. The queen's beauty and charm captured the boy king's attention, fueling rumors of a relationship closer than propriety allows. As the seasons pass, news spreads that she is with child. Meanwhile, in St. Albans, Duchess Ygraine, the widow of Uther Pendragon, tells a tale that has drawn many. She claims that on the night her first husband, the Duke of Cornwall, died in battle, Uther, disguised as the Duke, conceived a child with her, a child taken by Merlin. And the text dissolves into a wide shot of a winding Roman road. The camera pans across the landscape, revealing our Salisbury knights riding alongside Count Robert on their journey to St. Albans. Overhead, clouds gather, heavy with the promise of rain, the low rumble of distant thunder, a warning of what may come. At sunset, your squires set up camp in a clearing beside the old Roman road. The rest of you gather around the fire they built, the warmth pushing back the evening chill. Nearby stands a massive tree, larger than any other. Its thick, gnarled trunk is split at the base, forming a dark hollow. And the evening is quiet, save for the crackle of your fire. And then Count Robert gestures at the road. Over there is where Oswulf trayed and murdered the knights that squired you. Can you believe how far we've come since then, and the price we've had to pay? Has it been too high?
No, my lord, the price is the price that needs to be paid. We are sworn to fulfill our oaths, and that is what we will do.
It's our duty, I go that. It's part of our devotion to you, Count Robert, and I'm sure that these knights, would agree with us. They're in a better place now.
I agree. That is what we do. We pay a price for following and being part of, I guess, the way of things. That's life.
Do you not wish there were another way?
I suppose if our friends and family were still here, that would be wonderful. But then in the great order of things, some people have to die for others to be born again. And so without the suffering and the pain, we wouldn't have the love, we wouldn't have the joy. If we follow the cycles of nature, the large tree, I point to the large tree, will wither and die, and from it will come small saplings, which will grow bigger and larger. That is the way of things.
What you say sounds like wisdom to my ears, but I fear this heart of mine has already grown weary of battle. Forgive me, I do not know where my head is. I hope you are right. Perhaps you are. And then he yawns. Good night. I will see you in the morn. And he goes off to his tent. The warmth of the crackling fire is a shield against the chill of the night. And before long, Count Robert's snores are punctuating the pop and hiss of your campfire. And then you see a mist coiling along the ground, swirling around the edges of your firelight. And Sir Caradoc, a golden cross of radiant light appears, suspended in the air before that old tree with the gaping hollow in its trunk. Its brilliance pierces the shadowed grove, and within its warmth, you feel a weight settle upon you, a solemnity, as though God himself has chosen this moment to reveal his will. And you hear a booming voice. What you seek is within you, my son. And you can feel in your heart that what comes next is a trial that will test your faith. Sir Histolin and Sir Nigel, you do not see this cross of light. Instead, the hollow of the ancient tree glows with an otherworldly green light. The whispers of unseen voices rise from the earth itself, a low chorus that says, what you seek is all around you, bound in root and stone. And you can feel in your hearts a sense that what comes next will challenge your connections to the earth and the old ways. And then all three of you see a knight lurching out of the hollow of the tree. At first glance, he seems like any other warrior, but as he moves, you see the truth. No flesh lies beneath his mail armor. Twisting ivy threads through every joint and seam, holding the armor together in an unnatural mockery of life. The vines writhe and tighten. Moss clings to his helm, but there's no face within, only darkness and the shifting green of ivy. In one hand, the ivy knight grips a battered shield, and in the other, He raises a rusty sword in salute, the gesture accompanied by the groan of twisting vines. A challenger, the Ivy Knight cries, his voice a grating rasp, like branches snapping in the wind. Come, have at me, and win the freedom of the Druidess if you can. So I need all of you to make a valorous test for me.
Oh, okay.
At a -2.
A -2. Okay. I need a 17. And I seem to have rolled. Yep, I got a 14. No,
That's a success.
I
I got
14,
a 12,
succeed.
which is a
Yeah.
success for me.
Yep, so I succeeded.
Okay, you have all succeeded.
We're not going to run away.
You are not going to run away. You also will get a
Yes.
+5 to a skill roll in this
Oh.
in this encounter. So
Right.
as the Ivy Knight steps forward, you can see a woman within the hollow of the tree. Her limbs are tangled in thick vines that coil around her arms and legs like shackles. Sir Histowin and Sir Caradoc, you recognize her. She's the very woman whose magic had opened the ley line for you. The woman who told you she was a student of Merlin's. And you hear her cry out to you, I helped you in your hour of need. Help, I have been trapped here since we stepped through the ley line. Please, the tree appears only for an hour at sunset once a year. Help me before I am lost again. So everyone decide we're just going to jump right into combat, folks. Everyone decide your combat action.
I was taken by the Golden Cross. My spirituality was invigorated by this view. But then when I saw this knight appear, this fake of life, this undead being, I think I just jump to fight it because I feel like this is what my God wants to do. Like, it's an affront to my God. This is not the way that we resurrect. Basically.
Yes, exactly.
So I will basically charge. I will just unsheath my sword and say, get away from us, you mockery of life. And I just charge.
Okay.
No shield or anything, just with my I just stand up and go with my sword, like two-handed.
Okay. Guess we'll follow Sir Caradoc. Well, I don't want to speak for you, Sir Hillstone.
So there's a mounted charge, but I don't see a charge for when you're unmounted. So
Doesn't matter. It's just I charge.
right. So is this a reckless attack or is this just a regular attack?
No, it's well thought, but I just jump immediately and I run towards him and I will just hit him with my sword.
Okay. And the rest of you are doing the same, just a regular attack?
Yeah, I'm just going to do a regular attack. I'm not going to be. I Sir Caradoc's leading the charge, so
yep.
I guess I'll try and flank them if that is something I can do. But other than that,
yes. And Ed, can you remind me, because I have forgotten, it's been like a few weeks now with the holidays and that 1 week where you were sick. What is the modifier for when you're attacking multiple?
+5.
So it's +5 for you guys and -5 for
per person. Yeah, so per person.
Yep. Okay. So let's start with Sir Caradoc. So Sir Caradoc, give me your sword skill, and you can roll it right from the combat tab. It should be working now. Famous last words.
Can I try that? Attack. No, do I have the +5 bonus now?
Yes, and you have a +5 bonus from the valorous roll that you made, so +10.
So
altogether.
Total.
Yep.
Okay, so I roll die.
Okay.
Pending.
And now I will roll. So he gets a -5, Ed, or a -10?
No, so it's for every person that he's in combat with. Technically, he'd be at -10.
-10. Yep. Okay.
It once we were all engaged, I
Yep.
suppose. So
Good enough. Okay. So Caradoc, you have succeeded, and the Ivy Knight has a partial success, so he gets to use his shield. Roll your damage, please. It should say right there. You should see a button right there in the chat window that says roll damage. Yep. Okay.
I'm just rolling 29. Ooh.
29. Holy
Nice.
smokes. All right. That is a knockdown. Let me roll my dexterity.
Well, you see all these points that I spent on size and strength is paying off.
Yeah, that's right. All right. He has not been knocked down. Sir Nigel, give me your attack, please.
Okay. That's, I'm a bit more of a defensive fighter, so I'm going to pick up my shield and go and whack him. So I need an 18. I got a 14, so I succeeded.
Okay. Roll your damage. You should see that roll damage.
Got a critical, apparently.
Yep.
So roll for damage, and he gets 20 damage.
Okay.
Could have gone better, but yeah.
Wow. You guys have done quick work of this fella.
Well, he's an abomination.
He is an abomination. Yes. He is.
And we had to help some fair maiden as well, apparently.
He is an abomination. You've left nothing for Sir Histlewind. So the two of you have knocked this abomination to the ground, and you've sort of he's just hits the ground lifeless, and the vines wither that are inside the suit of armor, and you hear this little hiss and thank you. Sir Histlewind, how do you react?
I see it going down. My companions have obviously got this in hand, so I'll carry on running past towards the tree.
Okay, yeah. So in the tree you see that druidess that you had met the year before. I imagine you free her of her bonds.
Yep. Well, hack at anything that's holding her down,
and so you help her step out of the tree hollow. Oh, thank you, Sir Histlewind. Your debt is now repaid. And she looks at you, Sir Caradoc. When I offered the ley line to you, I was unaware of the Spriggan curse that was bound to you, sir. Please forgive me. Against its power, I could not prevent it from pulling you into the other world and ensnaring me here.
There is nothing you could have done about it. I myself was partly aware of it. For good, you know.
So you are the three of you each get, by the way, 66 glory before I will forget by the end of the adventure. So 66 glory each of you. Well, actually, I guess just the two of you, since Sir Histlewind did nothing.
No, I mean he rescued the fair maiden. Surely that's got plenty glory to.
Yeah, you know what? Let's see what rescuing a fair maiden gets you. Actually,
witch.
I'm sure it gives you something, or a witch, right? Exactly.
Sorry, I was channeling through in there.
Yeah, she was always going to be the priority for me anyway. That smile, yeah, and the curbs.
Are you married now, Sir Histlewind?
Yeah, but
she is very beautiful. 50 glory for freeing her, Sir Histlewind. And by the way, your liege lord is still snoring his life away, completely unaware of what has just transpired. And so Lady Morgan says, Where are your travels taking you?
We're heading to St. Albans for the peace talks.
I have been trapped for so long. I am unaware of recent events. There is a council of peace. That is good news.
Hi. Yes. The land to do with the peace.
Might I accompany you?
Well, yeah, it would be amiss of us to allow you to travel alone in these dangerous woods.
You're too kind, Sir Histlewind. Thank you. So you offer her one of your horses, one of your spare horses, in the morning when you resume your travels. So I guess there's a question of where she's going to spend the night. Do you only have tents for the three of you and your squires?
I'm happy to let her have my tent, and I will set up like a little lean-to under the tree or something, and just.
Okay, very kind of you, Sir Nigel. So she'll take your tent. So the rest of the night goes by uneventfully. And just, by the way, for the folks at home and for those who are curious about the game, the Ivy Knight came courtesy of the Companions of Arthur series from DriveThruRPG. The book is called Tree Hazardous, and it has a bunch of different challenges in it. One of them was the Ivy Knight. And that was written by Helen and Ash. And then the advertisement is over, and now we resume back to our game. I just wanted to give the shout out to Helen and Ash.
Nice.
Okay, so you resume your journeys in the following day, and the druidess rides alongside you. You're making your way down the road to St. Albans. The sky is still heavy with clouds, and you still hear that low rumble of thunder in the distance, though it hasn't rained yet. And several days go by and the road winds through thick forests and open fields. You pass towns and little villages and they offer you their hospitality and you stay in these places for the night. And after about a week of travel, the road enters a valley scattered with the ruins of a Roman city, crumbling walls and tumble down stones that are riddled with moss and ivy. And then the hamlet of St. Albans comes into view. And it's a cluster of, some of you have been here before. It's a cluster of thatched cottages spread out around the old Roman ruins. And in the fields beyond, you see some brightly colored tents and banners that are fluttering in the breeze. These are the lords and knights from across the kingdom of Logris that have come, drawn not only by Lady Ygraine's story, but by the promise of the Council of Peace. And you dismount, you leave your squires to tend to your horses. A crowd of lords, knights, and common folk have all gathered on the knoll where Arthur drew the sword from the stone 2 years ago. The large stone is still blanketed in moss. It stands at the center of the gathering, which has now sort of been treated as a shrine. And around it, there are offerings, candles, flowers, small tokens scattered about, a blend of Christian and pagan symbols. And at the base of the stone, Ygraine, dressed in a nun's habit. Sir Caradoc and Sir Histowin, you recognize her she's one of the nuns from Amesbury Abbey. She sits on an old wooden bench beside that stone that Excalibur had been in. And her voice is steady as she recounts the night of Uther's deception and the child stolen by Merlin. And Lady Morgan approaches Ygraine and says, "Hello, mother." And the two of them have a moment together. It appears that they haven't seen one another in a few years.
I stand there with my mouth open. Huh? Mother? I look at Sir Histowin and Sir Caradoc, because they obviously know who she is, whereas I'm just new to...
Right. Well, you know of Ygraine, the wife of Uther Pendragon, and you would probably know as a knight of Salisbury that when he died, she became a nun at Amesbury Abbey, mostly for protection.
Right.
The king had been killed, and we all know what happens to.
Yep.
Unfortunately, what happens to the queen when the king has been killed, and chaos reigns in the kingdom. So yeah, she went to Amesbury Abbey and became a nun.
But I guess
you've probably never seen her before. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
The other two, Sir Caradoc, Sir Histowin?
No, we should go and pay our respects to Ygraine. Don't you think, Sir Histowin?
Certainly.
I guess we come closer, but we keep the distance while Ygraine and Morgan are talking. I don't want to be disrespectful. But when this ends, we'd approach with Sir Histowin.
Yeah. So they have a moment, mother and daughter. There's a little standoffishness sort of between them. You get the sense maybe their relationship isn't so great. But, after a moment, Lady Morgan steps back and you see her opening to approach.
It's the morning, right?
Yes.
You arrive in the morning. Good morning, Lady Ygraine. Nice meeting you. Again, it's been a moment, I think, since we last met. Many things have happened to us, as you might have heard. We are happy to pay our respects with Sir Histowin.
Oh, yes. You came to Amesbury Abbey. Yes, I remember. That was so long ago now.
It is like several years now. I think 2 years perhaps have gone by. We are both married now. Our kids are growing. And
congratulations.
We are helping. Thank you so much. And we are helping now King Arthur with Count Robert as our liege. And we are here for the discussions that the High Lords are going to have today. I guess you will be taking part of this.
I will take what part is asked of me. My life is different now. I have no desire to step into the politics of the kingdom, but I do look forward to seeing King Arthur arrive. Sir Histowin, your squire, Neb, hurries up to your side, and there's like this fear on his face, and he leans into you and he whispers, Sir, while I was stabling the horses, I overheard Sir Blaine's speaking with your father-in-law. As we stand here, his men are raiding Salisbury. And the boy is trembling. And he points over toward a half-crumbled, ivy-covered pillar. And you follow where he's pointing, and you can see your father-in-law deep in conversation with Sir Blaine's at the edge of the gathered crowd. And their expressions are tense. It looks like they might be having some words.
Right. I will head over there, but with a sunny disposition on my face, as if there is no worries in the world, as if I'm about to just greet my father-in-law.
Okay. Yeah, so you make your way through the crowd. Sir Blaine sort of looks over at you as you approach, and then he gives your father-in-law like this nasty look that sort of shuts the conversation down. And then he just turns to you and he says, Sir Histowin, and he walks away.
It was good to see you again, Sir Blaines. And I'll turn to my father-in-law. What was that all about? How'd you know him?
Oh, it was nothing. Don't worry yourself about it. How are things in Salisbury?
Fine. Your grandsons are doing well. You say nothing. It's seldom nothing when you're conversing with a knight like Sir Blaines.
And what is that supposed to mean?
I've had dealings with him before.
What do you mean, dealings?
Let's just say his interpretation of the knightly code is somewhat different to most. But
You speak in riddles, son.
I'd only like to say, whatever's going on, you can always come to me. I'm family now.
Kids are safe, you say?
As far as I know, they're
In the castle?
in Salisbury, yes.
She should have brought them here like I told her to. And he just looks at you with this worried look on his face. I daren't say any more, but keep your nose out of it.
Are my boys in danger?
Promises me they aren't. I've paid him enough.
You paid him? For what?
Remember that trouble I was in? You vouched for me.
I?
Well, it was true. Sir Blaine's found out about it. He's used it against me. The man is a weasel.
He is too. By the knightly code, he should have come to see me, not you. I was the one who stood and vouched for you.
It was just a few coins off the top. I didn't think anybody would notice.
You say you asked my wife to bring the children here?
I did. She refused.
Tell me of it either.
No, of course not. I told her not to. At least she listens to me there.
So what danger are they in?
As long as they stay in the castle, they shouldn't be in any danger at all.
So who is in danger?
They're not family, so it doesn't matter.
But it does. Does to me.
Don't go making a mess of things. I've got it handled.
In what way?
Never you mind. I'll not put your place in danger. You are a knight in Robert's court. You cannot know these things.
But I could always go and ask Sir Blaine's himself.
Now don't go talking to Sir Blaine's. You'll just start a fight. The longer you stay here, the longer he's going to think I've gone against him. Smile and move on your way, son. Yes, it's great to see you, son. I'll speak to you later.
All right.
And he goes to get an ale from one of the merchants.
I will return to my companion knights.
Okay.
Everything all right, Sir Histowin?
Something's afoot. My father-in-law was talking to Sir Blaine's. There's been some dealing. There's something going on down in Salisbury.
What sort of thing?
I can't get it out of my father-in-law. He's too frightened. I'll ask around, see if I can find anything more about what's going on.
Should we speak to our lord? Especially if there is something going on in Salisbury.
I'm reluctant to go to him without knowing exactly what is going on, but yes, he should know.
Sir Caradoc, did you not have bad blood with Sir Blaine's?
Yes, I do. I will be happy to take vengeance on him.
I see.
So as you're having this conversation and you're starting to sort of look around for where Count Robert has gone to, a hush falls over the crowd as King Arthur arrives. He's flanked by Merlin and Sir Brastias, and behind him, Sir Ector and Sir Kay lead a guard of soldiers, Some bow their heads in the crowd, some of the women curtsy, but others, including Sir Blaines in the crowd, remain still, their gaze defiant, and Sir Brastias chastises them. Bow before your king, he says. But Arthur raises a hand. It's okay, Sir Brastias, he says. We've come to mend old wounds. And his gaze shifts to the three of you and to Lady Ygraine and Morgan. And he sees that your faces are tense. Like he can read, something's bothering you. And he says, my friends, tell me, what injury festers here?
I think it's the first one. It's just a bit of local business, sire. Nothing that should affect the kingdom.
Well, I would know of local business.
It's just a rumour we've heard. There may be some trouble back at home, but of the nature of which we do not know yet.
And how did you come to this rumour of trouble at home? Salisbury is your home, is it not?
Aye, sire. It was just a worried comment from an acquaintance. It's just momentarily put us off guard.
Still speaking in riddles, Sir Histluin. I am your king. I am asking you to tell me. Do not make me command you. What is it that troubles you?
Sire, it's that I do not know what it is that troubles me.
How did you come by this information that you do not know?
By a relative, sire. He was showing concern for family at home.
I rolled for Neb, and he blurts out, from me, sire, from me. And he turns to your squire, and he says, okay, boy, out with it. I overheard Sir Blaines. He's attacking Salisbury. And you hear Sir Blaines stepping forward. These are lies, Lord King. And the king sort of stands between you and Sir Blaines. And the king says to your squire, how could Sir Blaines be attacking Salisbury? He's standing right here before us. And Neb, your squire, says, his men, sir, he's hired men. I heard it with my own ears. The king looks at Sir Blaines and he says, is any of this true, Sir Blaines? And Sir Blaines says, this is but a child, so he is not a tongued one. You would take his word over that of a knight?
I step and intervene. I would take his word, sire. I would be the knight that took his word. I will stand for whatever my squire has said.
Sir Nigel will take a step forward to back up Sir Histluin.
So, Caradoc, what are you doing?
Me too. I step in and I take my hand to the pommel of my sword.
And so Sir Blaines sees you, Sir Caradoc, with your hand on the pommel of your sword. And then he looks at Sir Nigel and Sir Histluin and he says, Sir Caradoc dishonored me with baseless accusations 2 years ago. He lost to me fairly in the court of swords, where God casts favour on the honest. Yet his lord, Count Robert, has failed to deliver the justice I am due. And now the three of you stand before me again with baseless accusations. And then Count Robert speaks up and he says, Sir Caradoc lost his honour for his falsehood. I judge that punishment sufficient. And King Arthur says, and a fair judgment it was. Sir Caradoc is young and impetuous. He spoke out of turn before fully understanding the matter, perhaps. And I trust he has learned from his mistake, haven't you, Sir Caradoc? And he sort of looks at you, and you can just sort of tell his eyes, or like his gaze is urging you to say, yes, you've learned from your mistake. He's clearly trying to...
Yeah,
he's clearly trying to sort of defuse the situation, yeah.
And I will say, I'm a king. I learned, but I still look at Sir Blaines with, intent after I look at him.
And so the king says, well, then that matter is settled. I don't see how it is relevant to Sir Histluin and his squire's story, Sir Blaines. And Sir Blaines starts to stammer and he says, I demand justice. Sir Histluin, you stand by your squire. Then I demand to meet you in the court of swords.
As is your right, Sir Blaines. And I turn to Arthur. My liege, look, if you so wish, I will fulfill this challenge.
Gentlemen, this is meant to be a council of peace. Our disunity is a weakness that the Saxons are only too happy to exploit. We cannot afford to keep fighting amongst ourselves. And then he reminds all of you of the recent Saxon raids into Salisbury that Sir Nigel is all too aware of, and a few other counties as well. I would urge you both, sleep on the matter, and in the morning, if you must, then we will have our court of swords. And that is all I will say on the matter for now. There are several kings and chiefs that have not yet arrived. And then he moves to Lady Ygraine, seated on the bench beside the stone, and Sir Blaine's is mumbling and grumbling to himself. He's not at all happy with that he has to wait, that he has to sleep on it. He really just wants to beat the crap out of you, Sir Histowin. And so King Arthur moves to Lady Ygraine, and he says, "My lady, this tale that you have shared, though I heard less than half of it, it spoke volumes of your pain. To lose a child is a wound no parent should bear. Tell it once more from the beginning. Perhaps in the telling, some solace may be found." Ygraine studies Arthur's face, her eyes searching for a trace of the child she lost long ago. Her voice trembles as she tells the story again. And when she finishes, she says, "I believe you are my son, Lord King." Arthur's brow furrows. "I don't understand," he says. "Sir Ector is my father, and Sir Kay my brother. Merlin, did you take this woman's child?" And Merlin says, "I did. And that child, my lord, was you." And the crowd gasps at the revelation. Then you hear someone in the back shout, "This changes nothing. We didn't bend the knee to Uther. We will not do it to his beardless bastard." And King Arthur turns to Sir Ector, who gets on one knee and confesses that Merlin had brought the infant Arthur to him and swore him to secrecy and charged him to raise the boy as his own. Though Ector swears he never knew the truth of Arthur's lineage, he kept his oath to Merlin, and in time, he came to love the child as his own son. So I need all of you to make an awareness test. And this awareness test is at a -10 because of the crowd and all that is transpiring.
I fail.
Okay, so we have a failure from Sir Caradoc and a failure from Sir Histowin.
Did you say there was a modifier?
Yeah, -10.
I'm going to need a 1. Let's have a look.
Stranger things have happened. Okay, so you've all failed. The crowd grows restless. Angry voices swelling as tensions mount. Cries ring out. "Arthur is to Pendragon. No, this is Merlin's trickery. We'll not have a Christian king. The High King should take counsel from the Archbishop, not the Archdruid." Chaos descends in an instant. Screams cut through the air as panic surges. Too late, you spot the glint of chainmail and the flash of steel concealed beneath ragged peasant cloaks. Soldiers in disguise strike without mercy, cutting down nobles, pilgrims, and commoners alike. Sir Brastias pulls Arthur close, his voice a rallying cry. To me! Protect the king!" So, what are you guys doing?
Protect the king.
We'll check where is our Count Robert. Where is our Count Robert? Is it with us?
You've lost sight of him in the crowd.
Okay, we'll roll for my loyalty for him. I think it's part of my passion. My fealty or homage. I'm going to roll for my homage for him.
Okay.
And try to look for, and I will tell Sir Isawin and Sir Nigel, protect the king. I will look for Count Robert.
Okay.
I Sir Caradoc, I'll trust you.
Success for the homage for Count Robert, and then I will look for him if that gives me a plus something.
Yeah, okay, so you're like pushing your way through the crowd. So the two of you, Sir Nigel and Sir Histowin, as you circle the king, Brastias tries to lead you and the king sort of away from the crowd and into the forest. And and he says to you, "We don't know how many of them there are. Get the king to Londinium. We will hold them off as best we can. Protect the king with your lives.
Shit, it got real.
Sir Histolwyn, as you and Sir Nigel try to move the king to the safety of the woods, you see Sir Blaine's stab your father-in-law in the gut.